Hello, deep soul divers. This is astrology, the 12th house, and I'm going to discuss the moon in the 12th house. The moon, of course, rules our emotional nature, and it's our instincts, urges, our gut instinct, our natural feelings that we have inside, the part of us that we often hide within. When the moon is in the 12th, it's a double-edged sword because it's extra hidden. One's emotional nature is kept very secret and hidden from others because of the natural tendency to withdraw and to hide one's nature that the 12th house brings. So the moon there is very sensitive. I know a lot of clients with the moon in the 12th house, and one of the things they share with me is that they just feel so deeply and they're so open to their environment that they hide even more, and they really try to hide their true feelings because they are so emotional and so compassionate and so sensitive. And there's a natural tendency, to want to take care of others and help others. And they attract people that have problems. They attract people that have pain and that need healing. So from a young age, they're the helpers. And they often tell me that they feel drained very easily, emotionally and physically and energy-wise, more so even than the sun in the 12th house, which we talked about in a previous video. The moon is even more intense because, the moon is ruled by the tides of the ocean. The moon affects the tides. The moon is so deep. I often say that the moon sign really shows your true nature, more than the sun sign even, because the moon is how you deeply react to things, how you intuitively feel, and how you love yourself and others as well, and how you process emotions. So having the moon in the 12th, there's a fear of being vulnerable, because there is a sensitivity. So they often, you won't know what they're feeling. You won't know their emotions. They're very good at hiding, hiding what they really feel and what they really believe. And certain situations I find interesting. Through my research, there's a few key topics I want to hit on. I could go on for a long time about moon in the 12th, but I'm going to make it real simple. When the moon is in the 12th house, the moon represents the mother figure. So often, the mother figure has some type of emotional need. What I often see is that the 12th house moon person becomes more like a parent to their mother. So there's more reversal that happens with this placement. I hear this probably 90% of the time, not with every single person with the moon in the 12th, but often they feel responsible for their mother and her well-being, her mental health, her, happiness. So if the mother figure is depressed, which often with the moon in the 12th house, we see that the mother has some type of depression, some type of dependency where they feel dependent on others, and the child becomes the strong one. The person with the moon in the 12th becomes the caretaker, and the roles are reversed. So through this process, a couple things can happen. The moon in the 12th house person may resent the mother and feel that they were, too responsible. They had to grow up, too quickly, and they didn't get enough nurturing that they needed themselves because they were too busy nurturing. And that can cause problems in their future life, as they get older, with all their intimate relationships. So that's one thing I see and hear. Another thing is there can be a very strong bond with this placement. I find it very interesting, even though there's some pain and heartache and some suffering around issues with the relationship with the mother. There's often a very strong bond and loyalty that the child has with their mother. And the third thing I typically see is that there's some type of spiritual gift, the gift of intuition, the gift of dreams, the gift of spirituality that the mother gives to the child. So when your moon is there, you may have learned a lot from your mother about spirituality and religion and, what it means to serve others. So the mother could be a very prominent figure on shaping your spiritual path, which is a good thing. But typically, there is the feeling that the mother is unstable and may be very sensitive to where you have to take care of the mother. So that is typically what I see with the moon in the 12th. I know a lot of people with that placement, very artistic, very creative, writers. They like to write, they like to express themselves, they like to serve and help others, similar to the sun in the 12th. But they're even more vulnerable and even more open. So they really need to learn to protect their energy field. As we talked about in other videos, meditation can be a great source of comfort for people with moon in the 12th. Journaling, all kinds of things like listening to music. Beautiful music can really soothe them and heal them. And a lot of them can have a musical ability. A lot of musicians and artists, have the moon in the 12th, I find, more so than the sun. And the biggest thing with the moon there is that the person themselves may also, suffer from feeling isolated, feeling, different from everyone else, feeling that their emotions are unclear. They may really question what's real, what they really feel and what is meaningful. They may doubt themselves and they may be very shy. Planets in the 12th house can make you very shy, and they may be unable to express themselves to the extent where they can't really bond with other people sometimes. It reminds me, I dated this guy, back in college years ago, and really smart guy. He was like a nuclear physics major and real smart, and but just he was unable to express himself, his emotions. He was he was a very deep person. He had a lot of 8th house planets too, but that moon in the 12th, I remember he wanted to tell me something one night about how he felt, and we stood outside for like 30 minutes of dead silence, and he could not express it. He could not express what he felt, and after 30 minutes or so, he said, that he liked me. I mean, it took that long for him to tell me that he liked me. It was painfully shy, painfully stuck as far as being able to express in words what one feels. So the moon in the 12th creates a very deep, emotional nature. Very deep, very mystical, very spiritual nature. And just almost where words don't do justice to the emotions that moon in the 12th house people feel. So they need an outlet, an artistic outlet. So this is a beautiful placement of the moon. And a lot of people with this placement, are the servants, and they like to serve others. So enough for now. We'll be back later. Thank you.